Welcome to Prophyles. This video is a demo of the connect function in Prophyles. There are 6 points of contact with new people: in person, email, text, call, calendar, and social media. In this demo, I'll be covering just the first 2, in person and through email. The rest would be similar.
Hi, my name is Sam Stewart, and I'm the UX/UI manager at Prophyles. Let me start with a disclaimer saying that what I'm about to show you is a demo of our prototype, a tool for me to show you the functionalities of our in-development product.
So, what's the problem with connecting with new people? Well, with all current address books or CRMs, you need to create a card for every new contact, which is tedious, time-consuming, error-prone, and it usually looks like this. Scanning printed cards doesn't really work either because you almost always need to make corrections, and the information is still quite limited. But let's assume that you took the time to make the perfect card. Well, that perfect card still lives in its own silo, which means that in only a matter of time, something will become outdated. This system is honestly archaic. I mean, it's 2022 now. There needs to be a better solution. So let's say Lisa is meeting Peter in person for the first time. Lisa is a Prophyles user. There are 3 use cases on Peter's end. Use case 1, which is the best scenario, Peter is also a Prophyles user. Use case 2, Peter is not a user of Prophyles, but we have pre-created his profile from Melissa data, but he has not claimed it yet. Use case 3, which is the worst scenario, is where Peter is not a user of Prophyles and we do not have his profile at all. Let me show you the first scenario. Let's say Lisa chooses to connect with someone. It looks like Lisa has created 3 digital cards: a professional card, personal card, and a card for her tennis coaching. You can actually create as many digital cards as you wish with Prophyles. Each card can represent a different persona for different types of connections. In addition, you can define the fields on your profile, which you wish to share, hide, or mask for each type of connection. I'll show you a bit later how you can do that, but for now, let's focus just on the connection itself. So, Lisa selects her personal card and sends it to Peter by clicking on the send button. Peter, who also has Prophyles on his smartphone, gets Lisa's card and he accepts it. And now, Peter can do the same by selecting one of his 2 cards that he created. He selects his personal card, and he sends it to Lisa by clicking on the send button. Lisa receives Peter's personal card, and she accepts it by clicking on the accept button. After this exchange of cards, they both get this message acknowledging that their profiles are now connected to each other. So here's what just happened. Firstly, their profiles in Prophyles are now connected, and they automatically get updates if any information changes. That way, they won't lose touch of each other. Secondly, the connection or relationship was defined on the digital card or persona that they selected to give each other. So Peter can access the information that Lisa shared with him based on her personal card and Peter with his. Thirdly, Lisa's digital card can enter Peter's address book and vice versa for quick access from their mobile device. Now let's cover the next use case, which consists of Peter not being a user of Prophyles, but that there's a pre-created, unclaimed profile. Lisa goes through the exact same process. She selects her personal card and she sends it to Peter. Prophyles recognizes him and his unclaimed profile in our database. But since Peter is not a registered user, he receives a text message giving him 2 choices: to register and claim his profile, in which case Lisa and Peter's profiles would be connected as in the previous ideal case, or he can download a V-card to his address book. That V-card, or virtual card, would be a limited version of Lisa's digital card that she tried to exchange with him. This would be a temporary solution and not a very good one since it lacks the features of Prophyles. But it still allows Lisa to share her information even if Peter is unwilling to register. Now, here's what just happened. Firstly, Lisa's profile is now temporarily connected to Peter's unclaimed profile in Prophyles. If and when Peter claims his profile, then that temporary connection can become permanent. Secondly, Lisa's digital card is dumped into Peter's address book, and Peter's V card from his unclaimed profile can be dumped into Lisa's address book. So there's still an exchange going on here where they both get each other's information, but it lacks the richness and functionalities of Prophyles. Now let's cover the third use case, which consists of Peter being a total unknown. He is not a user and we don't have his profile from Melissa data. So Lisa goes through the exact same process. She selects her personal card and she sends it to Peter. In this scenario, since Peter is not registered and we don't have a profile for him, then we cannot recognize his number, so we don't have his picture, his name, or anything to give Lisa. At this point, Prophyles sends a text message to Peter with two choices. He can register with Prophyles and create a new profile, or he can download a V-card to his address book. That V-card would be a limited version of Lisa's digital card that she tried to exchange with Peter. So here's what happened. First, there's no connection between Lisa and Peter. Secondly, Lisa's V-card is dumped into Peter's address book. But lastly, Lisa does not have Peter's V-card or anything else on Peter. She'll have to go through the manual way of adding him. Now let's switch gears and I'll show you how you can create these digital cards in Prophyles and set different types of settings for each type of connection. What you see here on the screen is the web/desktop administrative tool that allows you to manage your profile, design cards, customize your background, analyze your social network, generate reports, etc. First, it's important to note that you can only create cards for yourself, not for others. So you first go to your profile and you click on cards in the left menu bar, which is one of our many topics available. As you can see here, you've already created 3 cards. But there is always the option to upload cards, select a template from our library, or just design your own from scratch. You can even flip the card, have a front and back, and you can always check who you gave a specific card to, and make modifications on that, such as revoking access to different information like your phone number. Let me show you how. When you click on the personas icon, this pop-up appears, which allows you to define the fields for this specific card that you use to connect with somebody. You can actually select, hide, or mask fields. For example, you can mask your phone number, in which case only the last 2 digits would be visible. So if a user receives a masked number, they can call that number, but they can't see the number itself. Therefore, they cannot share it or copy it down. You can also set the period and the frequency for access to each field. I mean, this is the most powerful, unique, and compelling feature in Prophyles, which finally allows you to totally control your personal information and who you give it to. Here's a summary of the Connect function. Personalized digital cards representing different personas. Rich cards with pictures, coordinates, links, etc. An exchange of digital cards without any typing. Digital cards dumped in your current address book, and being connected forever with constant updates. What are the benefits of all these functions? Convenience for connecting so quickly and easily, instant gratification, high quality connections with rich cards that truly describe your new contact, and with no errors. Assurance that you will never lose a contact, and your privacy and the privacy of your contacts are protected. Now, that's the end of our demo for the Connect function in Prophyles, but before you leave, let me answer a few frequently asked questions. What is your communication protocol? NFS and/or QR code? Can you change a card used in a connection if the relationship changes? Yes, you can change the parameters of the current card, or you can change the card that they have access to. Can I revoke access or usage of certain fields in a card? Yes. For instance, if you granted access to your email and then you changed your mind, you can revoke this access. This is a unique feature for Prophyles. How is Prophyles Digital Card different from a V-card? Well, a V-card is quite limited in terms of fields and data, but more importantly, V-cards do not solve the silo problem. For instance, what happens if your new contact changes their email address right after giving you their V-card? You wouldn't know about it, would you? The information could easily become outdated and you'd lose that contact. Prophyles solves this issue so that you can truly be forever connected. Thank you again for watching this demo on the Connect function in Prophyles. We have a number of other demo videos that you can watch on our website or on WeFunder, Fundable, YouTube, Vimeo, and other social media platforms. And if you like what you see, tell your friends about Prophyles. Why? Because this time, it's personal.
It was a pleasure demoing the Connect function to you. And thank you again for your interest in Prophyles.